Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. Today, we are looking at the month of August and we are wondering, should we sell everything for XDTE and QDTE, my $415,000 total options income portfolio, and how we would stack up amongst our investments that we already have, our investments that we could have. As an option seller, as a trader, as an investor, as a dividend investor, I like to always look at what we have on the table, what we are making with the funds we have invested, and could we have done it better? So let's jump into first things first. I want to take a look. I made a post this morning on X. I like to look at how my portfolio does over time, how I do for the month, how things stack up. And so with all of my options income, I made $17,610 in the month of August. That is including cash secured puts and covered calls between all of my accounts. Obviously, I showcase, I think $1,200 or $1,300 worth of income off of my IRA account. I showcase a small income account. I showcase a dividend account. But between all of my accounts and my main brokerage account, this is how much we made, just over $17,000. And I said, wow. Well, it took me a lot of work. It took me looking at charts. It took me trading. Definitely heavy on Thursdays, Fridays, and Mondays, and it takes a lot of time, right? You're paying capital gains, you're getting in and out of positions, you're rolling positions, and I said, all right, well, what if I just took that same amount of capital, roughly between $400,000 and $450,000? Usually, I think I started this month around $415,000. What if I just threw that all into QDTE or all into XDTE or split it between the two? Would I have fared better? And just as an overall, if you're looking at this or you're looking at this on X, so obviously the options income was $17,610. Wheel cap gains just means that, if I was assigned a stock at $10, the stock ran to $10.50. I sold that lot. I made $50 per 100 lot. That's where that came from. Not a whole lot of wheel cap gains, but sometimes I have several $1,000s depending on the month. Dividend income, you guys saw that at the 808 come in with just our dividend only account. So just over $18,000 total there. Total calls sold was 443. Total puts sold was 27. And the open contracts going into next week is 74. So, the reason why I post that information is because it gives you kind of a synopsis of what kind of plays I was making. When it's a more bearish environment, I like to sell less puts because obviously stocks are going down. And when I sell calls, that's on positions I already own. The top three positions were TSLL, CONL, and SOXL, which are all leveraged ETFs. TSLL being on Tesla, CONL being on Coinbase, and SOXL is ETF, semiconductor ETF. So just wanted to showcase that information just so we had that clear. But let's jump into the numbers. Let's take a look at my position I have now in QDTE and XDTE. And if it would be better to convert all 415,000 into a set it and forget it position. Again, this is my dividend account, just showcasing this here because this is where I own QDTE and XDTE. Currently, I own about $7,000 worth of XDTE, which is 132 shares, and QDTE 126 shares are about $5,300. So let's jump into the numbers. Let's run it. Let's look at what we have. As of right now, this is based off of the last 4 payments. Now, we will have another payment coming on Monday, but again, this is for August, and that number will be coming in September. So I took the last 4 payments you can see down here of QDTE, and QDTE in August paid out $1.78, and then XDTE paid out $1.45, and that's straight off of their webpage. And so this is theoretically how much I would have made if I would have put that money in there. So right now we are making $415.50 as a monthly income based off of the shares. If everything were to be the exact same for next month, that's how much we would make off of my current position, which is about just over $12,000 worth of capital. And it would take me roughly $30 or 30 months to get my money back. Now, if we were to take XDTE and we run the numbers, and again, this sheet, we have said it before in a couple of videos, but I did make this sheet available for free. Just link in my bio if you want to use it. I just like crunching the numbers. It makes it really fun. So if we were to come in here and we were to say, all right, let's buy, oh, whoops. Let me go back there. If we were to come in here and we were to say, all right, let's buy the maximum amount of shares just in QDTE, which is, I did this a little bit before. You can see 9775 is roughly $415,000 worth of shares. That would buy me 9,775 shares, which would pay out $17,390 in monthly income. The crazy part about this is right on par with how much I made with my money, right? So the fund managers, they went in, they trade daily call options on QQQ or equivalent to, because they can't actually trade on QQQ. And they generated for their shareholders, if you put that same amount of money in, they generated $17,390. What is mind-blowing to me is that would have taken me zero work. I could have gotten a paycheck every single Friday, or I guess it pays out on Monday. So every single Monday I would have gotten a paycheck. I would have put zero thought effort into this, and I would have made roughly the same amount of money. Now, on the flip side, I probably wouldn't have had any share appreciation or share pull down. Probably would have been pretty stagnant, which is not a bad thing. But on my options account, there are many positions in there that are going up and down significantly, right? Like if we're talking about something like SMCI that has tanked lately, that position has gone down, or Tesla that has gone up over the last month, that position has gone up, or some of my mining stuff like CleanSpark or Mara or Riot, some of those times those positions will move $10, $15, $20,000 in a day. So those are things to keep in mind. On the backside, this is just purely options income or dividend income, no share appreciation gain or plus or gain or loss. So that's the number if we're looking at QDTE. If we were to zero this out, let's come in here. Let's zero this out and let's go XDT. I'm not actually sure how many shares here. Let's see 9,500, what that would be. That's 499,000, so a little too much. Let's come in here. Let's just take off 250, 9,250, still way too much. We're gonna have to come way down. Let's check 7,500. Are we closer to the ballpark? Yeah. So these shares are a little bit more expensive. And so when you get more expensive shares, obviously we're talking about way less shares, right? So if we do 7,950, yeah, we're right there. So let me just pull this back to 25. Boom. So right there, about $416,000. Let me just put that down here. So we have 7,925 shares. Whoops. Sometimes it's hard on an iPad. So 7,925 shares. If we put it into XDTE, which I shall remind you, on XDTE, we basically are losing no share value. So the NAV on this has been really good. If we go to the year, which this fund came out, we're actually up 1%. So this fund has paid out, is up 1% now and has paid out weekly returns since inception in what, March? Yeah, since March. So no NAV erosion. Which means I could have put $415,000 in there, and over the entire period, I would still have that same $415,000. Plus, I would have been paid tens of thousands of dollars in share appreciation. One thing, or in dividend income, which is very, very key to note. So if we had 7,925 shares, that's about $416,000. XDT would pay us $11,486. So XDT wouldn't have made us anywhere close to what I made myself trading options on my positions. Obviously, the NAV erosion would have been better for the capital's sake, but QDT pays out way higher, but I would have lost money on the share value, right? So if you go to QDT and we go over the last month, it is down $1.12. So you take that 9,000 shares, right? And I'd be down about $10,000 in actual capital in my account. So those are things to keep in mind, right? So we're gonna make less with XDTE, but we're gonna keep our capital. But if you just purely want to play the income game, QDT can pay some crazy dividends. So that's the numbers I wanted to run today. Obviously, you could split them in half and do half XDTE, half QDTE. But really, honestly, like it's pretty crazy to think that I could have just set it and forget it and made almost the exact same amount of money when it comes to income. If I were to just come in here and buy $9,775 worth of shares at around the $415,000 mark, and I would have made $17,390. So wanted to run the numbers. Always as an option seller, I am looking at, could I do better with my money somewhere else? Would it be more passive? Would it take less time? Always love running the numbers. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but I love running the numbers just to see how we could all invest our money differently. and whether we make it passive or whether we can make more money doing it all ourselves, being our own fund manager. So thank you, everybody. As always, don't forget to tune in each and every single week as I drop new content, and don't forget to drop a like. Thank you. Happy investing, and we'll catch you next time.